will be nice.
Oh, book
I mean,
club. Oh,
yeah, I've been enjoying reading lately, but like, I mean, for stream, because it was a sub goal, I don't know goal in one of my last events. I read Smut Tuesdays or
oh.
Fanfic Tuesdays, and but I would love to have like a more I don't know if cultural is the word or like more deep. No, I mean some they also go deep into something, but that's a different kind of deep. Um,
Like a gathering. A
gathering.
as if we were crows, it would be a murder. We would be a murder
Will
of
be a
people
murder.
just
Hmm.
talking about just yapping, chatting,
Yeah,
discussion,
exactly.
seminar.
Seminar. Oh, now that you say crow, I there's this idea that I would love to do one day
Yeah.
when I have like my passport ready and I'm traveling, visiting some friends. I need to organize a crow party, a crow treasure party. You know how because crows when they
Uh-huh.
have gatherings they bring to each other trinkets and they exchange them.
Trinkets. I
Just
love
trinkets and
trinkets.
bubbles and like little things, you know.
Yeah.
And like we gotta do that eventually. You
Oh,
know,
that'd be so much fun.
it's so much fun. Like we all bring like a bag of like five or three or six trinkets, you know, and like and we all exchange with each other. It's like, oh my god,
Like,
what is
oh, like its
this?
importance. Trinket
Yeah,
exchange. Oh my
trinket
god.
exchange.
Not
Yeah.
exchange, but like letting you know like why these trinkets mean a lot to you. I have a lot of trinkets like that.
Oh, I
Like,
mean, I did mean like an exchange, like do like a collecting of it. Like
oh,
I don't know. For example, let's say if we are meeting, I don't know, like 2 years from now,
uh-huh.
and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, time starts now, and we just in this like 2 years or like a year or whatever time is before we meet. Now that we know we're gonna, we just pay extra attention to our surroundings. It could be a misprinted coin. It could be like a part of an amulet. It could be anything that we find. It's like this is awesome.
Mhm.
Or it could be something that you find in a store, like a keychain. It's like, yeah, this is a trinket.
I feel like one that I would bring to the table
Hmm.
is a $2 bill.
Oh.
I would go to the bank
Hmm.
and ask specifically because you have to go to the bank
Hmm.
to request this because they don't print them very often. Is a
Mm.
$2 bill,
Interesting.
which is I have a few of them saved up. I used to get them for Christmas from my aunt Carol. Um, she's still with us, bless her heart. Uh,
Julian, how dare you?
what?
It's like a $2 bill, and Helian
Because
immediately
Maggie's poor.
becomes
Fuck.
poor.
What the fuck? No.
That's damn.
Damn. That's harsh. No, no,
Damn.
no, 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 no. It's just because like I remember just like how special this was like to get as a kid. I remember paying for my first like middle school
Hmm.
dance with this $2 bill because it was only $2 to get in, and I'm like, I'm gonna bring a $2 bill, and they're like, what the fuck
Oh.
is this? I'm like, that's a $2 bill. You're welcome. You have a part of
uh,
history.
that's lovely.
So I have more of
Hmm.
them, but still, I would bring that. I
Hmm.
would bring you a $2 bill, and just in case if you need it, it's legal. It's legal tender.
It's a legal tender.
Those emergency monies.
Hmm.
You need a payphone. Change that. Um,
My goodness.
you guys want to
My
talk about Shel
goodness.
Silverstein?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I started this at 6:30 in the evening. I'm an idiot. All right. But first, disclaimer. I came unprepared. This deep dive was unsolicited by no one, myself included. But here we are. I am an idiot. Disclaimer. I am an idiot. If anything is incorrect, if you want sources, this is not the place for that. I have them. I'm not going to put them here, but we can discuss that if you want that later. This is the man,
Yep.
Yowza. first off. So
Poor
Shel
guy.
Silverstein was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1930. He was
Mm-hmm.
expelled from the University of Illinois, which led him to enroll into the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts for 1 semester. And then he was
Mm-hmm.
drafted into the U.S. Army, serving in Japan and Korea. When he came back, he went into his career to make some really cool stuff. He was a cartoonist, he was a musician, he worked in theater, TV, film, and books. He wrote The Giving Tree. This is the
Mm-hmm.
man who wrote The Giving Tree.
Yep.
Um, critically acclaimed, New York Times. He's won awards. What are we doing? Why am I doing this? This is about his surrounding his first collection of published poems, Where the Sidewalk Ends in 1974, The Light in the Attic in 1981, Falling Up in 1996, and then Everything on It in 1999. Everything else, he's cool, but there is some controversy about him. Because I'm a lazy bitch and this is what I found on Wiki.
Mm-hmm.
Not Wiki Feet, mind you.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. It's a very. This is also the photos that like I saw as a kid. Going,
Mm-hmm.
why are we? Why?
I I have heard like one of the only things I have heard from this man is that he approved personally all the photos that are like on his books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he personally said like yeah that one.
Yes. He personally picked the photos. He had his own like photo. He has a photo shoot of all these different
Mm-hmm.
types of photos, and he's just like this one, this one, this one. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Look at those.
look at them grippers.
What
What are
are those?
those? He's an interesting guy.
Uh-huh.
So where the sidewalk ends, satirical humor and tone is viewed as inappropriate by some adults for young readers, due to its sometimes dark themes and illustrations. The book uses satire to address topics such as religion, death, and violence.
Mm-hmm.
According to literary critic John M. Keene, critics have made unwarranted assumptions about children and their responses to Silverstein's poetry. They assume that children take everything literally, that they have no understanding of the ironic, satirical, or other form of literary humor. Um, so his stuff is somewhat controversy,
Mm-hmm.
but again, everything is up to interpretation. And he wrote books for children.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Giving Tree, which is very good. And a lot of other different things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it all started. This book, this poem. I have to make this a little bit.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Don't worry about Brad Pitt. We don't talk
Yeah.
about Fight Club. Don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen
Um,
to the Professor Snowy,
yes.
for she is cool and hip with the times.
uh,
It's
you're funny.
mm-hmm.
So this all kind of started. I remembered like how creepy Shel Silverstein's work was. I was very excited to just kind of see like his poems again because these books were so ingrained in my childhood. And there's a reason for that, and we're going to get into that. Just give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But this brought me to this this poem called "A Father of a Boy Named Sue" in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just started all of this. So just let you know, this poem started all of this. So
Mm-hmm.
this descent into madness. So
Mm-hmm.
would you like to hear "A Father of a Boy Named Sue"?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I left home when the kid was 3, and it sure felt good to be fancy free. Though I knew it wasn't quite the fatherly thing to do, but that kid kept screaming and throwing up and pissing in his pants till I had enough. So just for revenge, I went and named him Sue. It was Gatlinburg in mid-July. I was getting drunk, but getting by, getting old and going from bad to worse. When through the door, an awful scream, comes the ugliest queen I've ever seen. He says, "My name is Sue, how do you do?" and then hits me with his purse. Now this ain't the way he tells the tale, but he scratched my face with his fingernails and then bit my thumb and kicked me with his high-heeled shoe.
Mhm.
I hit him in the nose and he started to cry. He threw some perfume in my eye. And it sure ain't easy fighting an old boy named Sue. So I hit him in the head with a cane back chair. He screamed, "Hey dad, you mussed my hair." And hit me in the navel and knocked out a piece of my lint. He was spitting blood. I was spitting teeth. And we crashed through the wall and out into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the cream de menthe. Then out of his garter he pulls a gun. I'm about to get shot by my very own son. He screamed about Sigmund Freud and looking grim. So I thought fast and told him some stuff. How I named him Sue just to make him tough. And I guess he bought it because now I'm living with him. Yeah, he cooks and sews and cleans up the place. He cuts my hair and shaves my face and irons my shirts better than a daughter could do. And on the nights that I can't score, well, I can't tell you anymore. But it sure is a joy to have a boy named Sue. Yeah, a son is fun, but it's a joy to have a boy named Sue. And I
Wow.
was like, that's not scary. That's not creepy. That's very sweet. Right?
Mm.
And I know. I'm getting into it. Hold on. Hold on. Okay.
I'm holding.
So it is very much of its time. This
Yeah.
time frame, the time frame, I was prepared. So it's so gay. I love it. So I don't know what the fuck this was. Hold on. That's not it. We're getting to that. This came from Canva, so do not, this pop, oh God. Anyway, from what I was able to find, it came out in 1978. During that time in America, it was a time in short was an existence where LGBTQ plus was in very early activist days. People were, oh, hello? Oh, my monitor just like freaked out. It was weird. I feel like Shel Silverstein is with us today. What the fuck?
He's with us.
Hello?
He's with you in the room.
He's with me in the room.
God, I hope not.
Stop. Mr. Silverstein, I'm sorry we made fun of your feet. God. Get used to it.
Your audio did a funny... Hold on. Oh, there you go. There you go. You're back.
I'm back? Okay. Hell yeah.
All right.
So this was very early activist days. It was right after the Stonewall riots, which we can get into another time. But I want to talk about his silly poems. And it's just that it was very... also, though I do want to say, just preface this, that the first rainbow flag was, like, that design was by Gilbert Baker and debuted at the San Francisco Gay Freedom Day Parade, June 25th, 1978. So this came out when the flag came out. So please, like, don't take this, like, this is definitely of its time. It's a point in time, like, where people's minds were changing. So
point of metamorphosis.
To us now, it's very cringe and like, oh my God, like, right? But during the time that it came out, it was very mind-opening for some. Again, voice your opinion. All of that. So, this poem, Johnny Cash, this happened. This was a thing. So the poem, A Father of a Boy Named Sue, was a follow-up poem to a song that Silverstein wrote for Johnny Cash in 1969 called A Boy Named Sue. He was a part of a guitar pool where writers took turns singing songs. And he wrote the song after a conversation with his friend Gene Shepard, who relayed his childhood's dismay at being made fun of for what other kids perceived to be a girl's name. I kind of have that
Mm-hmm.
same issue because I have a name that is um, thought of to be for a boy. That's like
Mm-hmm.
my real name. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write it to you, Maggie, so that
All
you
right.
know. That is my
Oh.
name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. Like I just kind of like, oh, that's really cool. Um, and also fucking got Johnny Cash. Like what the fuck? This happened. Bonkers. They were in the same room, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
um,
It's very weird.
it's very weird. It's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this also brings me to the book fairs of the 90s. I'm going to date myself. Okay? I'm going to date myself very hard here. Because
Mm-hmm.
there was a 90s boom. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I am the ancient, I am the land, I am old. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, you are the snow that covers the land.
stop. Um, So, where the sidewalk ends, I found out about it from school. And during that
Mm-hmm.
school time was Scholastic had book fairs, um,
Yeah.
where there was a big boom of literature awareness from 1989 to about 2000. Like every other or so generation, there comes a resurgence. Fashion,
Mm-hmm.
lifestyles, poetry, songs, movie remakes,
Mm-hmm.
alongside developing its own style, and it's a very ebb, very flow, very demure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they were very these. I know that to me, like in my school system, these books were very. Shel Silverstein's books were very popular in the late '90s.
I missed you again. These
You
books
miss
were.
me? You miss
Oh
me?
no.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you broke up for a moment.
No.
But yeah, but these books were.
These books were very popular in the late '90s. And
Oh, snowy.
hello.
Oh no. Uh. Oh no. Snowy. Snowy.
Hello.
Uh. Uh. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay. Hello.
All right. Hello. Welcome back. All right. So you were saying during your during these years, these books.
These books were very popular. So
Mm-hmm.
it's creepy poems for creepy kids of the late 90s, is what I like to call it. Um, and then this brought me to figuring out what Scholastic was about. So, the vibe in Scholastic during this time period is a multi-international company that publishes and distributes children's books, educational material, and other media. They have been around since 1920, and any other company to keep up with the publication of school education, they have phases. Uh, so when I found out about Shel Silverstein, it was during what they called an era of expansion, where they did a lot more book fairs, and those sales from the books sales fairs provided more books for children and education, and just children who need them
Mm-hmm.
throughout the country.
Yeah.
Um, During this time of expansion, the Babysitters Club popped off, the Magic School Bus,
Mm-hmm.
reprints of classics like Matilda, Willy Wonka, um, Animorphs. Look at that thing.
Animals. Yeah.
This kid turned into a roach for us.
Mm-hmm.
um,
It's your hard out metamorphosis.
right. Um, um, but it's also like a way for families to they did like the reprints of classics, so that way children and their parents can also be familiar with like the message and read alongside them. It was very one of these reprints was Shel Silverstein, who won 1974 New York Times Outstanding Best Book Award for Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a time because it brought me Garfield, the Fat Pack 3-pack. Fight me about it. This was $10.
Mm-hmm. No.
Right now, it would be 40. Just saying. Time was crazy. I loved this book fair. It introduced me to Garfield, okay?
To Garfield.
It was wonderful. It's so gay. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Silverstein, his strange poems. So when I say that I forgot how creepy these poems were,
Mm-hmm.
I question why adults during that time were so super chill, considering that these children poems and stories. Not to judge. I'm very curious. Parenting is hard stuff. I understand. But there is one called Dreadful, which has a trigger warning for children death. And then there is Skin Stealer, which always come to mind. That I found a lot, like during like if you type in Shel Silverstein spooky, you get nothing. But like when these were ones that like just were across different sources that I found. Which one would you like to hear?
Let's go with the last one you mentioned.
The Skin Stealer.
Yes, consider.
Awesome.
I am concerned.
Okay. Skin Stealer by Shel Silverstein. This evening, I unzipped my skin and carefully unscrewed my head, exactly as I always do. When I prepare myself for bed, and while I slept, a cuckoo came, as naked as could be, and put on the skin and screwed on the head that once belonged to me. Now wearing my feet, he runs through the street in a most disgraceful way, doing things, saying things I'd never do or say, tickling the children and kicking the men and dancing the ladies away. So if he makes your bright eyes cry or makes your poor head spin, that scoundrel you see is not really me. He's the cuckoo who's wearing my skin.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
And there are people who speculate like what this kind of means. It could be addressing shame. It could be displacing blame.
yeah.
But it also could be depicting Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. And also like split personality disorders manifesting itself in a child. Like there's a lot of different
I
reasons.
I like the reading that came to my mind. That is the the haunting of the memories of your actions. That you were a terrible person before, and you at night get haunted by the memories of what you did, of the stuff you did, how you were terrible, how you were, and you were ashamed of them, but they haunt you, and you wish for people to like forget that, or like to say that that is not me, or like that is not me anymore. Maybe
Yeah.
adding like a temporal element to it. I like that reading of it, but I can totally see like the struggles with like your defining identity on the mental illness. Wild, very,
Very
very
wild.
creepy too.
Yes. And I won't read Dreadful. You can do that in your own time. It's just that it's very
Yeah.
what's it called? It like there's one website that just said like kind of looks into like it was from a website like where it just like kind of listed all of his creepy poems and like kind of gave like their interpretation about what it meant. Some people think that Dreadful is about literally eating a child. And
Oh.
then some people are saying that the contents of its time period reflects the disillusionment and cynicism of post-war era.
Oh.
Because this was also after he came back from
Oh
the
yeah.
war,
From the war, yeah.
from being enlisted.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like a heartless, unexplained act of devouring a child. It kind of symbolizes like loss of innocence and fragility of
Mm-hmm.
life. Um,
Yeah.
but it's very creepy. So you
Yeah.
guys can read that in your own time if you want.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With the context of like coming back from the war, like the reading of like having to eat your inner child, basically
Yeah.
devour it, like to make it disappear for your own
Hmm.
survival.
It's very deep
Oh.
stuff.
Oh.
Uh, Also, the hook. So I kind of like looked
Okay.
into this. So Shel Silverstein wrote over 563 poems over 4 collections,
Mm-hmm.
which caught my eye, which started this whole rabbit hole as well.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his poems called Masks appears in this book, Everything on It, which was
Okay.
published in 2011, um,
Mm-hmm.
after Silverstein's death in 1999. He died at home in Key West, Florida, of a heart attack on May 10th, 1999, at the age of 68.
Oh. All right.
Uh, and also, Snowy is an idiot. I have it in the corner, as Maggie can see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, Masks. Let me read it, please. uh, Masks. She had blue skin, and so did he. He kept it hid, and so did she. They searched for blue their whole life through, then passed right by and never knew. This is one of his most famous poems, and it was published after he died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's wild to me.
I have seen this image actually.
Yeah?
I have seen this image.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, but it was one of his most famous poems, in which 2 main characters wear masks to hide their blue skin. They spend their whole lives searching for others who have blue skin like them, but pass right by each other because the masks hide who they really are.
Yeah.
And it says a lot
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
about just accepting who you are, bringing down that
Mm-hmm.
mask, showing your true self, being true to yourself,
Yeah.
I feel.
I I like the idea of like connection that you can generate with the acceptance within yourself,
Hmm.
because it's a accepting yourself is like a screaming to the wind to others that there is okay to do the same things if they share like a trait with you, and the opposite is also true. And this is also why I always am very careful with like my language when I like criticize myself, because there's, yes, there's aspect of me that I don't like, but whenever I do them, I try to like be either specific or just I mentioned that like this is a very personal thing that I have to work in because it's not okay. Because sometimes when you like, in this case, it's hiding the traits of you, but if the mask uh, is spiky, or is it rejects more of like your identity, it is more abrasive to the things that is hiding, then you are signaling to others with the same problems that you have that they're not okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's very thought provoking. It makes you do, in this deep dive, you look further into yourself. you know? Who are you as a person? I'm a creepy kid from the
Mhm.
90s. That's who I am. Um,
Oh, you'll say.
um, I don't know. I've just been, and also
Mhm,
just to be perfectly clear, I was very high when I wrote this. Not when I wrote this,
mhm,
but I didn't write this. But like when I put this together. So I was
mhm,
also
mhm.
in a very thought provoking kind of mood. So I'm
Uh-huh,
like, let's
uh-huh.
go.
Let's go. We're doing this.
um, so yeah, that's masks. And these are some of my favorites. So one of my favorites that I love the art. He was such a good artist. Um, very kind of creepy, and it was very um, like an older style of art that went
Mm-hmm.
alongside all of these poems. So majority of the poems that he drew pictures for. Like there's a picture for Skin Stealer, which I did not put because it's very creepy. You guys can Google that yourselves. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but one that I really like is The Voice, The Lost Cat and Nailbiter. Um, the
Mm-hmm.
voice is, there is a voice inside you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I don't know. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside.
Hmm. All right. The idea of consciousness and just like set your own standards for yourself, and that's the general idea.
And then there's silly ones like the lost cat. We can't find the cat. We don't know where she's at. Oh, where did she go? Does anyone know? Let's ask this walking hat. That's cute.
You gotta go silly with it sometimes, you know.
Little silly.
Yeah, yeah. Not all sides of not every spot on the pool or on the pond has to be like the deepest one.
Yeah. And then
There
there's
has to be a shore somewhere.
nail biter because I'm also a nail biter.
No, same.
I am anxious. I'm an anxious being. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the nail biter. Some people manicure their nails. Some people trim them neatly. Some people keep them filed down. I'll bite them off completely. Yes, it's a nasty habit, but before you start to scold, remember I have never scratched a single soul.
Oh, oh, that's nice.
It's nice.
Oh, so nice. Oh, the ideas, like this anxiousness kind of has a purpose. It kind of works, even though it's not good or not okay, but it
Yeah.
works.
It's
Oh, I like that.
it's coping. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
coping
It is a
with
lot of coping, yeah.
your anxiety. It's and like I didn't really figure out my own anxiety
Mm-hmm.
until um COVID. Like COVID kind of
Mm.
like just being isolated, it gave me the time to really look into myself and like ask, why do I act this way? Why am I anxious? Like why am I nervous? Why do I get into awkward conversations with people? Like why is this happening? And I got help. And I went to my doctor. I told them everything. I wrote down a big long list and I coped.
Mm-hmm.
And I am working on it and working on myself, and this can happen for anybody at any time. Like you just
Yeah.
gotta take the initiative for yourself and do these deep dives in your own brain and just figure out, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And these are poems like from my childhood. It's like I know this, but like I needed to figure it out for myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Oh, gracias.
Gracias.
I am
So
tired. But I leave this deep dive with the
uh,
collection's namesake from where the sidewalk ends.
yo.
Uh, there is a place where the sidewalk ends and before the street
Mhm.
begins, and there the grass grows soft and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright, and there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool the peppermint wind. Let us leave this
Hmm.
place where the smoke blows black and the dark street winds and bends, past the
Mhm.
pits where the asphalt flowers grow. We shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk white arrows go, to the place where the sidewalk ends. Yes, we'll walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and we'll go where the chalk white arrows go. For the children they mark, and the children they know. The place where the sidewalk ends.
Nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. Ah, what a deep dive, huh?
Here's the last image. Here's a last look at the grippers.
Hello.
What
What
are
are
those?
those?
What are those?
Oh my god, my god.
Oh
So
boy.
all a very elaborate stunt, just to like transition into like wiki feed.
And we talked about this for 30 minutes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and for looking at Shel
Mm-hmm,
Silverstein's feet.
mm-hmm.